G'day mates, this video is sponsored by Sleep HQ. Upload, review and share your detailed CPAP reports with anyone from anywhere. Visit sleephq.com and join our free community today. G'day mates, today I'll teach you how to replace an AirSense 10 motor. This is also known as a flow generator or turbine. It's the heart of the device, it's what generates the airflow, the pressure. And this motor is also found in the S9. Now, for those of you that have an AirSense 10, at some point in time, you will receive a message on your screen that says motor life exceeded. And when you receive that message, many of you will probably panic, call up your DME or your CPAP clinic and ask what to do, and they'll tell you to buy a new machine. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. What you can do is replace the motor yourself. Now, you might like to get a new machine. Maybe you want to upgrade to an AirSense 11, whatever it is. Don't throw this one out. Replace the motor and use it as a backup. As you can see, this old motor, they do start to get dusty inside. They start to get a bit noisy. So if you want, you can put, a brand new turbine in your device, an aftermarket one, and it'll probably last you for another 7 to 10 years. All right, let's do it. Take out the humidification chamber. And if you have an SD card in the side here, you can also remove that. Flip it over, and we need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. So the little screwdriver I'm using here is a TR10 head. All right, it's a little hex head. I'll put a link in the description of the video where you can pick one up if you need one, but pretty straightforward. All right, step 1 done. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws removed. The next step is to take off the faceplate, and to do so, just under here you can see a little groove. The faceplate just pops off, just a little plastic faceplate. The next step is just remove the button that just pulls off as well, so just pull it off, pushes on, pull it off. This is a brand new machine, guys. I don't really need to replace the motor, but just for demonstration purposes. And then we have 2 more screws here. The next step is to remove the outer shell. So just flip your machine around and you can see there's a bit of a groove here. Now I just use this little tool, but you can use anything you like, but you've just got to sort of pry it up. And once you get it up, you can then lift it up. Just be gentle here when you get it to here, that you pull it out and away. See there? Like that, pull it out and away. There's your shell. The next step is to remove the side panel. Now this is a card to cloud device that doesn't have a cellular modem. If your device has a cellular modem, you'll have a little cable that comes out here and just clicks in to this little section here. And all you do is just pop that off. It just pops straight out, and then you should be able to just pull off the side. Okay, it just pulls out like so. Alright, so yours will probably have a cellular modem in this section here. Side plate removed. The next step is just to remove the cables from the PCB board. Let's pull out. Now you probably should be wearing sort of non-static gloves when you do this. I just don't bother, but I'm sure ResMed people are watching me now going, what are you doing? But I just don't care. So that one just pulls out there, and then there's one here as well. Now you can see with this one, it's got a little, just on the back here, you just sort of pinch it in, and then sort of pinch it in, and then give it a bit of a wiggle, and it pops out. All right, you can see that there. And once you've removed those 2 cables from the PCB, you can sort of pull off the PCB board. What I did then is I just pulled these 3 cables that are under there out, and then you can just flip it over. Just be really gentle with this ribbon. you don't want to tear that ribbon. That's a pain in the ass if you do that. Okay, so just be gentle, flip it over. And now we're going to remove the turbine casing. A little screw just at the top here. And now we can pull out the turbine casing. And now we need to get the motor out of the casing. So step one, we're just going to take off this little arm bracket here. Just pops off, and then just sort of thread around and take out it's just sort of clipped in. Pretty straightforward. So just take off the little arm bracket and then just pull that out from there. And now we just have 1, 2, 3 screws. Screws removed. Now I can pop off the lid. Here's the ResMed foam disc, and we can just remove the cable from inside this little clip. Now just put your finger in this little hole here and just give it a bit of a pull. And at the same time, this little section here, just sort of fold that in and out it comes. And now these tabs here, you just sort of fold them in. They sort of just push in like so. It's a pretty intricate little design. Fold the cable up inside. And now we remove the motor from the little silicone housing. And to do so, you just reach in and pull it out. Just sort of fold it back. And there you go. That's it, guys. That's all it is. So just a little turbine. You can see that little fan spinning there. That's what generates the positive airway pressure. Pretty cool. So that's a brand new motor here. This one here is an old motor. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see it just they start to get dusty. Like anything. So both these are genuine ResMed motors. If you wanted to get this replaced here in Australia, ResMed would sting you about $900 for a new motor. But we're going to use an aftermarket one, which is identical. So exactly the same specifications, same motor. All right, let's put it back together. So now we're going to put the silicone housing back on the motor. Pretty straightforward process. Just push it in like so, right to the bottom, and then just peel it back over. Reminds me of my younger days. All right, then just make sure you push the motor right down, like so, right down in the housing. All right, and feed it right down. You'll see there's a little ridge here where the motor sits. This ridge here should be flush against that. Cool. And now we're going to feed through silicone housing back into this segment. So just run the wire through the middle. And you can see here, there's one that has 2 silicone parts, and then the rest are single. So they've done this so you know how to line it up, and you want your cable sort of coming in this little section here, so you get this little groove here. Okay, but just pull them through, pull them through, pull them through, pull them through. See there? So you can see the cables coming in that section there, and then it runs over there. This back together. just run the cable out around the side here and under this little section. Now we can grab our little bit of foam. You can leave this out if you want, guys. It's just sound abatement foam, doesn't do a whole lot. Most of you, I think, will put it in. ResMed has said it's safe, so we'll go with what they say. And then just put the cover back on. All right, now we can put back on little side plate. This is a little bit fiddly, this section. Basically, you grab these 3 wires, pass them under here, and sort of just hold them down with your thumb the best you can. And then grab your little side plate, come in from the side, hook it like that, and then run it up, press down on this one, and then you've kind of got to take your thumb out at the same time you're sort of pressing down. See, I nearly got it there. There we go. All right, can you see that? That's sort of how you want it there. And then you can see here it's got a little arrow, so you run it under there and then under this little clip here. Right, that's probably the one of the trickiest parts, that little part, getting this little side cover back on. You basically just lift it up. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. All right. Now we can put the motor back on the device. So I'll bring it back forward. And you can see here there's a little bit of a clip, and that clip just goes here like so. So you can see there, see how it's under that clip? Just make sure the seal's nice and lodged into place here. This is the outlet here, so you want to make sure that that's nice and lodged in. And then we can put our screw back in the top here. Now we can bring back over the PCB board, nice and gently. Bring it back over. Like so. Now we're going to push these 3 cables back under the little, slide them back in here. And this is important, this part, guys. You see here, this is the flow sensors, so you really need to make sure that you line up these 2 little black parts with the 2 little blue parts, okay? So make sure that they're nice and snug into place. Okay, you see that there? Nice and snug. Just give the circuit board a little bit of a push on the plastic here, and you'll sort of feel it click into place. You sort of see the little holders here just holding it in place. Now we can connect up the circuit board again with the 2 cables, starting with the little orange one at the bottom. The orange one's done. Turn it to the side. Plug this cable in. A bit fiddly. There we go. Just push that in. Make sure you hear it click into place. Yep, clicked into place. Just with the PCB as well, there's another little connector here. So it sort of pushes into the PCB. See these little 2 white things here? And now we'll just put our side connector on, and you can see here with the side connector, that's sort of how it looks. If I pull this up. So you just sort of line it up. It's not too difficult. And then just give it a bit of a push. Make sure it's all lined up well. Cool, looking good. If your cable starts to look like this, you can just rotate the dial and it brings it down. Just rotating the dial at the back here. Now we'll just put back on the shell. Just start from the back. Just bend it a little bit like that, and then I'll just show you from the front. Just sort of peel it over. And then you sort of just press down on these bits. And we can put in 1, 2 screws. put our little button back on, presses on, and grab the face plate. Start at the top, just pushing at the top, and then just fold it down. Just press at the bottom. Humidification chamber back in the side. And now we just need to put in our screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, the ones we took off at the start. All right, let's start her up. All right, I'll put my mask on. Here we go. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you found it useful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and as always, look after your mates, sleep well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.